My name is Helen Hakim, and today we're going to be talking about conformity and bullying. Now, what is conformity? Conformity is yielding to a group pressure, meaning individual changes their belief or behavior to accept into a particular group. Now, these changes or in beliefs or behavior can be a response to a real-time or into an imagined group pressure. Group pressure are also found in many forms, such as bullying, teasing, and criticism. There are three types of conformity. There is compliance, identification, and internalization. Now, compliance. Compliance is a response or submission to a request made by another individual. This request can be explicit or implicit, and the target individual may or may not recognize they are urged to act in a particular way. For example, a teenager dresses in a certain style because he wants to fit in into the rest of the guys in his social group. Identification is a conformity that refers to individual accepting influence from others because they desire to establish or maintain a satisfying self-defining relationship to an individual or group. For example, a woman reads a book for her book club and really enjoys it. But when she attends her book club meeting, all the other members dislike the book. Rather than going against the group opinion, she simply agrees with them and says the book was terrible. Internalization is the deepest level of conformity. It involves the integration of attitudes, values, and standards of others, such as peer, into one's sense of self. An example will be a student living with another student in a dorm, and a year after they convert into a religion that other students are having. So now why people conform? There are two reasons that was discovered in 1955. Normative social influence, which refers to the changes of one's behavior to fit into a particular group despite their internal disagreement, but they just wanted to keep their normality, or informational social influence, which refers to is I'm searching and fitting into a group of social of their choice because they lack a certain information and seek growth or direction. An example, students seeking friendship with the smartest student in class. Other influential factors include task difficulty, individual differences, group size, situational characteristics, and cultural difference. Now, bullying. What is bullying? Bullying is a constant and purposeful abuse of power in a relationship via recurring physical, verbal, and social behavior with an intention to cause harm to another individual. This harm can be physical, psychologically, and emotional. Bullying can happen through one person or through a misabusing, coherent group misusing they perceive power on individual or individuals who feel helpless. Now, bullying can happen in many forms. One is in person, in a school ground, workplace, and etc., or online via various digital platforms such as social media, messages, email, and etc. It can also happen directly and indirect, um, which is obvious and sometimes it's just a hidden thing. One particular student targets one person but does not let others to know that they are bullying this such individual. The effect of bullying. It's sad to say, but in Australia, bullying is extremely common in schools of all ages. Studies found that 1 in 6 students are bullied on a regular basis, and about 8% of boys and 4% of girls self-reported of bullying others students on a weekly basis. Bullying can have an immediate effect, a medium, and a long-term effect on the victim and the witness. The power of group. Now, researchers found that group power and influence is significant in human development. Hence, groups are fundamental on developing a macro-social structure in children's ecological system. Group can encourage a range of positive social, emotional, and behavioral quality, yet it can also bring out the worst in people. Group influencing complex behavior such as bullying is significant. Bullying goes beyond the relationship of the bully and the victim. It is the characteristic of the group process. Research found that, or research suggests, the social complicity model suggests that relationship between the bully and the bullied is a result of an active communication between the groups at a very different level of social interaction spreads to the whole group. Being in a group offers power, awareness, and importance to individual who encourages the well-being of the group. Now, friendship groups and broader peers group interaction influence bullying behavior amongst the students. Studies suggested that students bully others to boost their reputation with peers and to validate their social position. Now, how to reduce a bullying rate at school? Social and emotional learning. Social emotional learning is a process where children and adults acquire knowledge, attitude, and skill needed to recognize and manage their emotions. It helps individuals to demonstrate a caring and concern for others, establish positive relationships. The collaborative for academic, social, and emotional learning recognizes 5 types of social and emotional skills, and they are self-awareness, self-management, social awareness, relationship skills, and responsible decision making. Now, how do we use social emotional learning skills to prevent or reduce bullying at school? Reducing bullying at school environment requires the school to focus on the social, emotional, and moral climate of the entire school body. Research shows that for the prevention intervention program to be effective, it must include a whole approach involving combination of school-wide rule and penalties, conflict-solving training, and teachers training classroom program, and individual counseling. Applying the cell framework to bullying. In a school-wide approach, school must first do an assessment to determine what kind of bullying happens, how often it happens, and where. After that, the teachers, adults, and volunteers must be trained on how to respond to bullying incidents. Staff and students and parents will be aware and informed about what bullying is, what form it comes in, and the signs and warning of students being bullied. The regulations and rules, reporting procedure, every school has a different one. The policy, discipline policy of the school must clearly identify that bullying is not acceptable in the school environment. Adults must always supervise where the bullying has always happen, so adults might always be there supervising. An adult modeling of behavior. There must be an adult to be a role model of good behavior. For example, a principal having lunch with students once a week would promote positive. And also promoting a positive peer program that would help the student to deal cooperatively, positively, and inclusively to help generate a cohesion and compassion among students and encourage them to apply the same skills they have been taught. In classroom approach, teachers need to establish a respectful standards of conduct for interactions, act against any aggressions, support with within students. Teachers and students must together develop respectful interaction rules, organize a regular meeting to discuss bullying, and teachers should make an extra reach to the students that are peer rejected and withdrawn, encourage them to inclusive to their peers. Other approaches such as circle activities, intervention, and parental involvement. There are plenty of resources around, and I'll be putting the link down, so please go through it and hopefully that will be helpful. Thank you so much for your attention, and we'll see you next time. Bye.